The old house creaked around me, a symphony of unsettling noises. Each rustle of leaves outside the window sounded like footsteps, each gust of wind a whispered threat. I clutched my blanket tighter, seeking comfort against the growing darkness in the room. That's when I saw him, a young boy with eyes like polished stones staring at me from the corner. He didn't blink, didn't move, just stood there, a specter in the fading light. Fear, cold and sharp, pierced through me. I wanted to scream, to run, but my voice caught in my throat, my legs turned to lead. His silence was a heavy weight pressing down on me, stealing my breath. The shadows in the room seemed to deepen, to writhe as if alive. They reached out like skeletal fingers, twisting, growing longer, hungrier. He was still there, the boy with the obsidian eyes watching me. His presence felt like a threat, a promise of something terrible to come. The air grew thick with the smell of damp earth and decay. A cold draft snaked across the room, coiling around me like a phantom limb. The hairs on the back of my neck prickled with a dreadful premonition. I was no longer alone, I could feel it. Something unseen brushed past me, its touch like ice on my skin. Terror, raw and consuming, seized me. I squeezed my eyes shut, wishing desperately for the nightmare to end. But the unseen presence lingered, a chilling whisper against the backdrop of the night. A low, guttural growl vibrated through the floor, shaking the very foundation of the house. It was close, too close. Then silence, heavy and absolute, descended once more. I dared to open my eyes, my heart pounding against my ribs like a captive bird. That's when I saw them. Silhouettes materialized from the shadows, their forms indistinct, their eyes burning with an eerie, otherworldly light. They were everywhere, surrounding me, their presence suffocating. I was trapped in a nightmare, a silent tableau of horror. Their silence was more terrifying than any scream. They moved closer, their forms shifting, flickering, their eyes never leaving mine. Each one was a whisper of death, a harbinger of despair. The boy, still as stone, continued to watch from the corner, a malevolent conductor leading this orchestra of fear. I tried to speak, to break free from the suffocating terror, but no sound escaped my lips. The air crackled with an unseen energy, holding me captive in its grip. The shadows pressed closer, their coldness seeping into my bones, their silence deafening. Then, a blood-curdling shriek tore through the silence, echoing through the house. The shadowy figures turned towards the sound, their forms momentarily solidifying, revealing grotesque, distorted faces. I scrambled back, my hand connecting with the cold glass of the antique mirror behind me. In the reflection, I saw it. A face, pale and gaunt, with eyes as black as the abyss staring back at me. It wasn't my own. The scream, I realized with a jolt of horror, had come from me, from deep within me. The face in the mirror smiled, a chilling, predatory grin that sent shivers down my spine. The shadows flickered once more, then vanished, leaving me alone in the oppressive silence. The boy, however, remained. He took a step closer, his expression unreadable. His silence was a question, a threat, a promise. And as I stared back into his cold, unwavering gaze, I knew my ordeal was far from over.